The Mishnah says, Kosav Lakoyin Shanichad Lo Chamisla. Now, first of all, what is the subject matter? Subject matter is, you want to know, Shtachov Gidei, how do I perceive it? As money, Shvei Kesef, good for Imam or not? This is the subject matter. Okay? So the Ketzoris has a suffix if Shtachov Gidei is considered Shvei Kesef. Is it good for Imam or not? Brings Machlokes Rishonim and our suit between Tosfos and Rashi and Rashba. The Rashi holds Shtachov Gidei is Mammon, and the Rashba holds Shtachov Gidei is not Mammon. That's what it says the Shtar. We talk about Shtar Kinyan, not Shtachov. This is what he brings to that. So, in order to understand what's going on in depth, we learn a little bit about Gemara Masechet Ketubot and the Gemara Masechet Bechavot. And Yosef translate this English right now and send it to my wife. Okay? Toshma Katan LaKohen Shanichad Lo Chametz Lo. Somebody wrote to a Kohen that I owe him for Chametz Shel Slaim. No Padui. Sorry. Hayav Liten Lo Chametz Lo. He needs to give him Chametz Laim. No Padui. His son is not redeemed. What's the case? The case, a father wrote to a Kohen that he owes him 5 shekalim for his redemption of his son. The Mishnah says he obligated to give him Chametz Laim, but his son is not redeemed. So the happening in the Gemara was the reason why he's obligated to give, because it's a nuchiyuv. There's an obligation. A person can obligate himself through a door. If I admit I owe you money. With a shtar, even though it was never really a debt, it's a new debt. Chiyuv chadash. And the reason why when the son is not redeemed, because I paid the new debt, and do with the debt of redeeming the son. The Moses says no. Shiny also the Meshabel Midoraisa. Really, when he obligated himself 5 shekel, wasn't for a new debt. It was part of the old debt, of the obligation of the Torah to redeem a son. So he's obligated to give it to him, and it works because it was a shibu before. But his son is not redeemed. Why? So why, if there was a shibu Midoraisa, why he wrote it? Why you need a ksav? The levar coin to say this coin, another coin. So why his son are not redeemed? If the debt is a debt of the Torah, of Shiab the Torah to redeem the son, that's a subject matter. When I pay that debt to redeem the son, let the son be redeemed, and the debt works. The obligation works was a Shiab the Torah before, and that's why the chiyuv can work.
And I don't need an asina. Put in the sinas.
What?
According to the sinas, you don't need an asina. Okay. It's enough. He's a Bakida Corny. He may have the bill of the coin. It's good enough.
So why his son is not redeemed when I pay it?
Right.
The Gemara answers Kedeula.
No, even before pay.
No.
Why not?
The cash is Yamayim upon me when I give.
Who said that? Doesn't say that.
Here we don't know that. Gave it to her.
Here it doesn't say it. We don't know there's something here, and this stage of the Gemara doesn't say giving it. He doesn't say it. We don't know about giving. We don't know that. Here we don't know.
We see from the answer from that.
Wait,
we see from the answer that that's the question.
Because the answer is Keula. It's only like Ula. It's not Ula. No Raya for the answer. It's Keula, it's not Ula. It's like Ula. So you be Madame. It's not a Mamish Ula. It's not Mamish Ula. Not Mamash no Raya. Not the case of Ula. So maybe you can change the case.
Ula speaks about this mission.
It's Ula. It's not Ula. There's no Raya. I know.
speaks about this case.
Okay, but doesn't mean this is the Gemara. It can be two sides of it. Yes, can be no. Like the Gemara can say the answer like the Ulam, and the Kash not done. And the Kash, it can be no, yes, can be no.
When the word Keula is maybe Ula said what he said for a different reason. But Ula said what he said on this mission. In this case, so we see from the Ula's words that was a Kash. The Omar Ula Dvar Torah Potu, sorry, from the Torah is redeemed when he gives them up. Again, what happened? The father came to the Kohen, says, here's a star that I owe you, the 5 shekels for the redemption, 5 shekels. Okay? Then he pays the debt. He's obligated, and he pays him. So the mission is obligated to give, but his son is not redeemed. So Ula says, what really from the Torah is put. When he gives the money, he's redeemed. The son is redeemed when he gives the money. My time why the rabbi said that his son is not redeemed? It's exeira that people say you redeem with stones. So even when I pay, it's not redeemed. It's a rabbanon. Now, what is exeira shoyomu pointing to stones? What is that exeira? So before we see Rashi there, I will jump on Rashi B'choros. Then it'll be easier to say what Rashi says.
I made copies of him and he give everybody.
And he gave here. Okay, so if you want to give them, I appreciate it. What is one? I'm happy to see you. Okay.
The volume is not loud enough for the rabbi.
Okay. Let's see the Gemara. Gemara B'choros brings this Mishnah. Kosav lakoyen. If he wrote the Kohen, I'm reading Gemara B'choros. Katav lakohen shu chayav lo chamisha sloim chayav liten lo ibnoi lepodu. Omar Ulo says, Dvar Toiro bnoi podu. Nechshiitin. From the Torah, when he gives the money, the son is redeemed. My time, what's the reason Ibn Podui? I don't know. It's a good point, but it says there's a difference between brackets that are square or round. Square means that's what it is. My timer and Bnoi Padui, why his son is not redeemed? Gzeira shemayoimu poinim b'shtar. Or shtor is the gears in Bayas Shtar. And Rashi Shtor. Let's see Rashi. Shemayoimu poidim b'shtor. I'm reading Rashi 3 lines at the top and Rashi on the left side. Shemayoimu poidim b'shtor. Afilu en noisnim klum. Inami b'shtar shesh lo chaveiroi. What are the 2 pirushim of Rashi? Rabbi Yoshmuel, what are the 2 pirushim of Rashi? Again, what was the case? A guy wrote a star to the husband, to the Kohen. The father wrote a star to the Kohen. My son is going to be redeemed. I'll give you 5 shekels for the redemption of the son. And when he gives it, he's obligated to give. And when he gives it, the son is not redeemed. Why? He's exeira. What is the Gzeira? What is the Gzeira? The Gzeira is that people would say you redeem with shtar without money. That's what Rashi says. B'shtar is afile noisim klum. Just a note, I owe you 5 shekels. Ischayvos, you redeem afilu enoisim lo klum. Ina mi b'shtar shesh lo achei. Really shtar of the day. There's no Gzeira. Because maybe it would work. Because it's kesef. A check, it's kesef. You can go to the change and cash it. So you could redeem with it. Shvek kesef kesef. What about any gufa mamoin? No problem, gufa mamoin. It is gufa mamoin. Why is gufa mamoin? Because I'm giving you my ischayvus. Ischayvus aguf, like the Torah says. Since Rashi brings 2 pirushim, right? The Gzeira Rashi brings 2 pirushim. One is Gzeira that people saying the money didn't do it. The shtar did it in the beginning. Without giving money, it works. And that doesn't work really. Why it doesn't work? Because because it was a debt before. Few stories. I never had the das to point it with it. This is a Gzeira. I want to know why after Rashi said that he brings Inam. He's not satisfied with the first Perush. And Rashi, when he brings the second Perush normally, especially in the Torah, everybody explains that since Rashi brings another, he's not satisfied with the Perush. And he brings the second Perush. Inami b'shtar sheyesh lo alacher, or really, to say that shtar without money is poida is not a problem. Because no midoraisa should work. What is the Gzeira when he gives the money? That people would say the shtar did it. Let people say. Shtar chov did it works. The problem is shtar chov da'achei. What's the problem? Shtar chov da'achei in Kuvay Mamay. So let's go back to Masechet Ksubas. Rashi Masechet Ksubas only takes one perush, which is the last perush of Rashi. Let's see Rashi there. Rashi there says what? Rashi there says the Omar will advart podui l'chshiite. Time obloino podui gzera shemeru poidim b'shtoris. Rashi says Shem Amra. I'm reading Rashi in Ksubas Kuf Beis Amud Aleph. 7 lines on the top in Rashi. Shema yomu poidim. You have it there, Reb Shmuel, Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yosef. You have it. So read. Sheyesh loy. Ooh, which perush Rashi brings? The second perush in Bechoros or the first perush? Second one. Shema. What he says? Shema yomu poidim es abechor b'shtor chov sheshal acher umosolo koim b'pidyoinoin. The asileme mali haishtor mali haishtor. With this star, we don't have a problem. If people would say it's not the money, rather it's the stars, Rashi doesn't have a problem with that. The problem is we would say the money didn't do it, the star did it, and if the star did it, even other star did it, and other star is no good. But why if this star did is no good, it is no problem? Because it's Shaveh Mamoin. What about it's not ain't Gufa Mamoin? It is Gufa Mamoin, like the choice. So we have a Rashi like the second pshat next choice. Second pshat. So Rashi in Ksubis learns the second pshat in Masechet Bechoros. Let's now read the first pshat of the Masechet Bechoros. And the pshat will be when he gives the money, Midorai said the son is redeemed. Midarabon is not. Gzeira Shemoyoimu, without the money would work. Afilo ein loisli mamoin. That's the language of Rashi there, right? Afilo ein loisim klum. It's chayvus alone. Which means, and what's wrong? What's wrong? Could be many options. And a shoveh mamoin, and gufay mamoin. Or it is gufay mamoin, but it was a debt already. The Shia Bim Yorais is not giving something new, like the Minchas Chinuch. It wasn't my das. Right? You hear Reb Shmuel? Is it clear? The 2 Pirushim. Right? The Gzeira, that the Gzera will be on the star itself. What? Without the money. And which star? That he wrote to him, Star Didei, Star Chov Didei. And people would say that would work and it's not no good, right? Midoraisa, Star Chov Didei, according to the first Pshat of Rashi in Bechoros, Star Chov Didei is not good. Because if the Gzera Shema Yom means not good Midoraisa. They said, yeah. About that people would say the money didn't do it. The star did it, and the star is supposed to be Midoraisa. Yes, he gave the star and he gave the money. So when he gives the money, why it doesn't work? Really, Midoraisa, when he gives the money, it works. Gzeira, Rashi says, they will say that the star did it. And star doesn't work, Midoraisa, Star of the day. Go to the first Pshat of Rashi, right? Even I didn't give money, I just wrote the star. That's all I just gave the star. Right? Without the money, Midoraisa. No. Talk about the first Pshat. Sounds to you that that's what people would say. People would say that the star that the money didn't redeem it. Rather, the star without money redeemed it. And what's wrong when people say that? And what's wrong when people say that? Shmuel, what's wrong when people say that? Yes. Yes. Why? Or Engu from Mamoin, or there's already a Chiyuv from before. Few options, right? Yes, since it was a Shibur before, so he didn't do Maisa giving. There's no Maisa Nesina. Like the Rabban Rashba says. It's already a Kate Agide Gabe. Like the Vidchas Chinuch says. So 1 second. This is the first Pshat. What is the second Pshat? Which is Rashi in Ksubis and Rashi in Bechor's second Pshat. Yes. Hai Shtora Mali Shtora Chine. So the Gzeira is what? When I give the money, the Gzeira says, don't let it work. Because people would say, Shtar did it, and Mali Aishtar, Mali Shtar Dacherim, and Shtar Dacherim, and Gufa Momoy. But why have to come to Shtar? Just say, not the money, the Shtar. We see from Rashi, according to the second Pshat, that we have a problem with the Shtar Chov, with the problem Shtar Chov Dacherim. Why would there's no problem with Shtar Chov? Yes, why we have a problem with that? Oh, must be. And Rashi holds that Shachov Didei, it is Gufay Mamoin, and it is in the Sina. And it wasn't the Gzeira of Shachov Didei. Just Mali Aishtar Melei Shtar Acherim. The Shtar Acherim would be a problem. Shachov Didei was no problem. Just 1 second in the bathroom. Very important. There's a whole piece here. We just did now is a whole piece. What's the story?
Start with that. Non sapete, noi quando uscite, non sapete. Ma in Italia non i soldi, ma i finanzi mi stanno soldi, diciamo, io poi non usciamo. Ora se mi diciamo, io non usciamo. Faccio un figlio, se studio, ora per I'm start just to find the school about that.
I don't know, it sounds to me like people will think, even if you get money, but people will think that, people can vote for stuff, even if they don't give them like. El callado de la clase. Nosotros andaría todos con se le pone un parlante zampado en la puerta, en la entrada de la puerta, y ahora una música lo pones ahí, nunca la pagas, nunca la pagas. Nunca, yo no puedo dormir. No estás pensando fuera de la casa. El chabón ahora te va. No, la verdad es que yo no puedo dormir. Está en un nivel, está saliendo de la casa. Ahora les cuento mi idea. ¿Ah? Les cuento la espalda. Bueno, muy simple. Trasplante de órganos para ¿por qué?
Okay, the Siyata Dishmaya. Now we're going to learn inside the Ktsois HaChoshen. Ktsois HaChoshen, Siman Kuf Tzadik, Siv Koton Vov. Want to learn the Ktsois HaChoshen? Moshe with us? Another paper? Ktsois, the Ktsois. You don't have the Ktsot? What? It's come around, I don't know. Yes. I think so. I can't see from far, but it is. Yes, it is, yes, but turn the page. The other page. I can't see from here, but it is. Siman Kuf Tzadik, Siv Koton Vov. Biniach Mashkon, on the right side. Yes. Go over to Rashi's. Not to Rashi itself, it's two pshatim. In Ksubis he chose one pshat, and Bechoyer brings two pshatim. Right. Right, and he chose that one. So what does Rashi explain? When the father gives the Kohen a note that he owes him the 5 shekels, so he's obligated to give him the 5 shekels, the Mishnah says, and when he gives him, his son is not redeemed. The question is why? So Ula says from the Torah, he's redeemed. But from the rabbis, they made a gzeira that people would say, Shtoros does it, and Shtoros doesn't work. Which Shtoros? Which star? What? So Rashi has 2 explanations. One is the gzeira is, people would say it's not the money that does it, it's the promissory note that did it. The note that he wrote in the beginning That's what did. It's not the money later on. Start without money. Shalom Aleichem Klum. What's the problem with that? A lot of problems. There's a shiabud from before. It's in Gufay Momoin. Like start of the okay? Good. What?
Which people?
The Jewish people. Yes.
Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to go down and tell the people.
Right.
It says, tell Bnei Israel, tell Beit Yaakov, tell Ziknei.
Okay.
So, it says Beit Yaakov is Stama people, not the Chachamim. So they tell the Chachamim things on a high level. We tell the Stam people things at a high level. They won't collect.
Right.
In fact, they might make a mistake. Like the Baitusi and a mistake.
Right.
But you tell Beit Israel, they're not high level. But Moshe, even that, we told the Ziknei.
Okay. Even the best of the best. So now we're talking about the Ziknei here. The Gemara in Ksubas Rashi there choose the second shot.
The difference is, the Gemara is,
They're not talking about what kind of star we're talking about.
I'm talking about under Mishnah. Mishnah says,
Chiyuv, you want if it's a star chiyuv, which chiyuv? A new chiyuv, an old chiyuv. What's the goal of the chiyuv? That was the subject there. Why, when he pays the money, he's not podui? Where? Yes. Right. 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 Right.
So now these 2 steps can make a difference in the Shakakali and the Gemara. 2 steps.
Yes.
There's 2 steps and 1 step. There's 2 steps makes a difference. You may like to say Kewula. It's not Mula Mamish, it's Kewula.
Oises definitely learns that the Shaila was when he gives the money, why is not put? Rashi can learn there that he learns to let the star be work. It's mashma, it's not Pashut. This is mashma that the Shaila was why the money is not redeeming. Why the money? When I give the money, it doesn't work. Rashi is not clear. Came in before, yes. The Lashon of Rashi. The Gemara says no. Even when he gives the money, midorais says podui, but midrabanon gzeira shem b'shtoris. Okay. So one gzeira is that people would say that the first star, that the star chiyuv did it, and that cannot be midoraisa because a gufomamoin is a chiyuv before, or it's not kesef. Kesef is not kesef. 3 options: or it's not kesef, or it is kesef and gufomamoin, but it's a shibud before, or it is kesef. And there's not a problem that it should be before, but in Kufar Moment, 3 options. Now, that's a shayla. The Ktsois brings his Gemara, and he says, why the star in the beginning work as Keser? Shvei Keser, yes. So he says, must be that star the day is not Shvei Keser. He says, no. Maybe there it's a different problem, because in Kufar Moment. And the Mechaschus has a 3rd problem. Maybe it was a shiabud from before. So there's no raya from there. Why it didn't work? Ktois wanted to say, you know why it works? Why doesn't it work? The star, the gzeret shemu b'star. Why the star doesn't work? When I gave the star? Why? Must be because it's not kesef. It's not shvei kesef even. It's only seen as kesef here. Like the Ramban and Rashba. Says no, there's no raya. There's other reasons can be there. In Gufam Mamoin, there's a chiv before. No raya. The maskon of the Ktsois says no. Shtachov the day, it is kesef. It is kesef. It's gufay mamon. It's kesef and it's gufay mamon too. So why it didn't work? Or because it did before. Or was it dead before? Right? Or it does work. And the Gzeiro is only shtachov da'acherim. That's all. That's the second pshat of Rashi. The second pshat of Rashi in Bechoros, in the pshat of Rashi in Ksubah is that the Gzeiro, when he gives the money, is not working. Gzeira atu shtachov da'acherim. But shtachov they would work. Why would work? Must be in its kesef. Must be its gufa mamoin. It must be I don't care there was a debt before. And that's why Rashi had to say the Gzeira is atu shtachov da'acherim. But not shtachov the day. Because ein gufay mamoin. It's definitely kesef, shvei kesef, but it's not gufay mamoin. Because I only give you a raya, the piece of paper which is a raya. It's not the gufay mamoin. Shtachov the day when there's a share with the guf and I'm stabbing through the stars, a shayla is gufay mamoin or not. If it's shvei kesef, it's gufay mamoin or not. It's a shayla. Mashkot shel acherim. If there was a choiv, yes. If there was a debt. How the mashkot was created? It was a loan. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Because then going mamon.
And the fact.
Beishtar gufay mamon. Mashkot, maybe it is gufay mamon because the share wouldn't have the mashkot. Mashkot is money. It would be better than shtachov. Yes.
And the fact that he has to pay 5 shekels.
Yes.
And the star doesn't work with the Ramon.
Yes.
It can't generate a confusion in the people.
No, star doesn't work with Doraisa. The star doesn't work with Doraisa. That's why we goizer. The rabbis were goizer. They said even when I paid the money with Doraisa, the Taharas Bodu is redeemed, but we have a gzeira that people would say that the star did it. The star doesn't work with Doraisa. One pshat shtachov da'acherim and shtachov the day would work really. Right.
But you are saying that you have to pay the money.
Right.
So it can generate the confusions that they say, oh, the star works in a certain way because I have to pay and it's surrounding in the star. So I have to pay what is in the star, and the people go still thinking that star da'acherim works because the star works in
Right. Shtachov da'acherim people would think would work and it doesn't midoraisa. But shtachov the day midoraisa would work, so the gzeira is not because of that. The mice doesn't burn. But the gzeira was only shtachov the day wouldn't be a problem of gzeira because it would work. It's shvei kesef, it's gufay mamoin. There's no problem. There's a chiyuv before. It's like a genesina for kiddushi. That's all. That's what you have to say. So now let's see inside the Ktsois HaChodesh. Ktsois HaChodesh. V'ine nire raya. V'ine nire raya I'm reading is in the Ktsois Siman Kuf Tzadik 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines on the bottom of the right column. 9 lines on the bottom of the right column. 9 lines at the bottom in the right column. Yes. The Ktsois wants to bring a proof that Shtachov da'acherim, Shtachov the day is not money. Sorry, that it is kesef. Like the Toys in the Rosh. What's the raya? That's a mistake here. It has to be loiman. You have to word loiman. Yeah. Some prints have loiman. That's the truth because it brings that doesn't work. Loiman. You have to add the word loy. Shtachov loy me'ani b'mokim kesef. What's the raya? He wrote the kohen שאני חייב לו 5 loim. חייב לתת לו 5 loim. ובנו אינו פה, the son's not reading. Omar Ula says, when I give the money, the baby is redeemed. My time, why they say the child's not redeemed? It's a decree. Shema Yoimim pointing b'shtoris. We would say you redeem with shtoris. Omar Ula, since Ula says, when I give the money. Koidim shita before I give. Vada no podu for sure not redeem. Afilu from the Torah. Afilu from the Torah. Mashma even stachov di day. It doesn't work. Right? She's learning like which pshat in Rashi. Vada eno podu afilu from the Torah. Mashma like which pshat in Rashi. Right, that exeres tachov da'achering, tachov di day. No, the first one. That even like Gamre, even tachov di day without money doesn't work. Umashu akodim shita vada eno podu afilu min ha'Torah. And that's what we go there. When he gives, after the people say it was before, and doesn't work on the Torah. He named it as tachov di day avekemo kesef. What is the first pshat in Rashi? Check quiet. What is the first pshat in Rashi in Bechoros, Rabbi? That when I give the star, when I give the money, it doesn't work because the rabbis made a decree, gzeira, that people would say that the star that I gave in the beginning did it without giving money. And that doesn't work from the Torah, right? That's what he's Israel. Even if I just gave the star without money, doesn't work. That's the first pshat in Rashi and Bechoros. That the Gzera will say, even without giving money, just the star alone works, and that doesn't work from the Torah. Then he has a problem on this pshat. He named it the Tachov di day. If we're going to say that Tachov di day like Toises and Rosh, that Ave Kemoi Kesef is like Shvei Kesef by Karken Kiddushin. In Ken Varter of no Podo if you look at him. So Varter's son should be redeemed. Why the Gemara says that when he gives them money, it doesn't work Zera, that people would say that the star did it. And the star doesn't work. I mean, from the Torah, why not? It's Shvei Kesef. But it's Shvei Kesef. It's Gufay Mamay. It's star, but it's Gufay Mamay. It's Shvei Kesef and Gufay Mamay. You don't know. You don't know. Because if he says it's Shvei Kesef and it's Gufay Mamay, so it works. No, he's talking about Pidyon. Yes. I owe you 5 shekels. I owe you the 5 shekels of Pidyon Laben. And it's Gufay Mamay and it's Shvei Kesef. Must be not like Toises and the Rosh, like the Rosh and the Ramban is not Kesef. That's the high. So the Raya of the Ktsois is according to the first pshat of Rashi and Masechet Bechoros. Says no. Maybe I'll tell you what's the pshat. Miu efsha, miu pasible, and that's the pashtus. The first pshat of Rashi is the pashtus, but it's hard misvor. That's why Rashi had another pshat inami. But the pashtus of the Gemara Gzeira shemu poidim b'shtar means with this star. The Girsen Bechoros Gzeira shemu b'shtar, not storois, shtar poidim b'shtar. No, the Girsen the Gemara there. Gzeira shemu poidim b'shtar. B'shtar, this star. Rashi had storois. This star to other star, so when you jump, it's hard. It's not the pashtus. So according to the pashtus, he has a raya against the Toises and the Rosh. The Toises and the Rosh says that star chov di day Shvei Kesef. So why you have to come on to the money later on? Let the star itself be Shvei Kesef. I say and Gufay Moment is definitely Gufay Moment because I have like he says later on. I'm mishtabed beguf. I'm mishtabed to the star. He says no. Mi efshar Now, 1 second. If this is the way we're learning the choice, there's any mockering to the aura of the Minchas Chinuch? What? Minchas Chinuch says, really, Shtar Chov Day could be works. But you know why here Shtar Chov Day didn't work? Because there's a debt before. So there's no Nesina, there's no real giving. Right? That's the reason. But the choice is still, this precious is that when I give the money, really should work from the Torah, and there's a gzeira that people would say the shtar did it, because the shtar is not shvei kesef, and ain't gufa mamay. Nothing to do with the shi'abur before. Yes. Gzeira shevayom will point to shtar. And what's the problem with shtar? And shtar is not shvei kesef. That's the pashtus. The gzeira on this shtar. You can say a lot of reasons. You can say, like he says, maybe the reason because it was a dead before. Maybe because it gufa mamoy. Or maybe because it's not kesef. But definitely we see that the shtar didn't work from the Torah. The shtar that he wrote in the beginning to the Kohen doesn't work from the Torah. And that's why we have a gzeira on it. He says no. Umi efshar the shiny pidyo in kevan the imit be'avodim v'shtorah shemoim poidimoim in kenu adin shtar chov didei nami and poidim mishum dora v'gufo momoim. אבל בקידושים מעל shtar chov da'acherim יש לומר adin shtar chov didei. It's a chiluk between karka and kiddushin, which is shvei kesef. Shtar chov da'acherim or shtar chov didei is shvei kesef. But by pidyoin, I have another added factor. I have to be gufo momoim. And shtachov da'acherim or shtachov didei is gufo momoim. So why we have gzeira? The gzeira is like this. When he gives the money, midoraisa, the son should be redeemed. Midoraisa. Why it doesn't work? Gzeira, people would say that the shtar did it. And what's wrong with shtar? And gufo momoim. Not because it's not money. But right, we said could be it's not money and gufo momoim. Those are dead before. But the Ksois only chosen one pshat, it's not money. So no, maybe the reason it is money, takarka and fai kiddushin, but it's not money for pidyon abed. And people would say, not the money then did it, the shtar in the beginning did it. And the shtar in the beginning cannot work, not because, like I said before, it's not money, it's not shvei kesef, it's not in the scene for kiddushin. No, it is in the scene for kiddushin and karka. But it's not money for pidyon abed. Rapina ben, you need gufay mama the same way shtar chov of da'acherim da gufay mama. Or adin shtar chov didei da gufay mama. You need gufay kesef. You need guf. The kesef has to be intrinsic. Okay. That's what he says. He said. That's what he said actually on it. Ela da'akat yislechalek. The shtar chov da'acherim they point out usually gufay mama. And he says this is svara. Shenu koneh shtar chov ela de'arayev or shtar chov and gufay mama. Aber Shachov Didei, he says, the Mechayiv Atzmoi, Upasen Ishtabeloi, Efshor, does have a good moment? He says, no. He says, no. Again, he said, don't say, what was the whole point of the choice? He says, don't say the reason why Midoraisa, the Shtar Chov Didei didn't work in the beginning, only the Kesef Midoraisa. But the Shtar Chov in the beginning was not working. You know why? Not because it's not kesef, because it ain't gufay mamay. He says no. Maybe it is gufay mamay. So it's kesef and gufay mamay. So Reb Shmuel Rozovsky says, if that's true, so how you can explain the Gemara? There's a gzeira that doesn't work. If it's kesef and gufay mamay, like the extortion at the end, so the Gemara says it doesn't work. The answer is no, it does work. The gzeira was an other story, shtachov da'acherim, like Rashi and Ksubos, or like the second pshat in Rashi and Bechoros. But really, shtar chov didei would work midoraisa because it's shvei kesef and it's gufay mamoin. And another problem was a debt before because lemaisa now created a debt. I wrote the shtar. I wrote it, and I pointed it to you, not just to the tribe. And that's what's in the Sina.
The two explanations. Like the first shot
It's a very big, it's, Rabbi, there's things that you cannot use stars. For example, when a person steals karka, they cannot make a shvuan karka. Cannot make a shvuan stars, an avodim. Zemiyud. Which star you cannot make a shvuan? Star of a chayrim. Star chovidei, if it's gufay moment, you can make a shvuan. Pidyon aben. If I give my own check, star chovidei. It works, according to this pshat, because it's gufay moment, and it's money. There's a lot of nafkaminas la'alocha by saying that.
So it's a Rashi. Why they choose different shotting?
Because that's fake. How do I define shtachov didei? Do I say midoraisa shtachov didei is zero? Because three problems. It's not kesef, like the Ramban Raj was not the sinas kesef, or it is the sinas kesef, but then gufay momoin, or because it's a debt from before. Fourth option, and all three first option not true. It is kesef, it is shvek kesef, it is in the sina of shvek kesef, it is gufay momoin, and the fact there was a debt before, a shibu before, doesn't destroy the nesina. I still gave it a nesina. The last side and the first three sides depends on the two pirushim of Rashi, the two pirushim in the Gemara. If you learn that the gzeira was not the money cannot work, because people would say the shtar chov in the beginning works, and that doesn't work midoraisa. So we have three options why it doesn't work midoraisa. There's not money, it's not nesinas kesef, or in guvay momoin, or was a debt before. Right? Three svaras. And I was the choice of the battling. Is not money or no raya. If it is money, but it ain't gufay momoin. And we said a third svara of the Minchas Chinuch, there was a debt before. But if we're going to learn the Gemara like the other pshat, that the gzeira was of shtachov da'acherim, but really the shtachov in the beginning could work midorais if he had the kavanah. Yes, it wasn't the gzeira, just didn't have it in mind. But if he had it in mind, it wouldn't be a problem. That's why there's no gzeira on it. Why it works? Because it is in the sinas kesef. Even as I said before, it is shvek kesef, and it's gufay mamoy. That's all. So what we gain here, we knocked out the kasha of Reb Shmuel Zolzowski. Shmuel Zolzowski has a kasha on the k'tzois. What do you mean? How can the k'tzois now change that tzachov nidei is gufay mamoy when the Gemara says it doesn't work? You understand? So it depends on the how do you read the gzeira, right? Yes, Reb Shmuel. Go ahead. No.
The Gemara says, I'm reading not the toilets.
Yes.
I do that. I'm not paying.
Good. I want to hear the mapeh. 1 second. 1 second. I need the Gemara. Good. Let's see. Good. Go ahead. Yeah.
And we talk about star today.
Yes.
Not the star, not the money. It's not chayvit to the star, because it's chayvit is not good enough. Not chayvit to money. Chayvit to star. The sugi is to give the star, not to give the money. You have to run the money for God. Only star. Now tell you, when I told you to keep the star. My kind of told you we don't give the star. So you're the putting stores. We have to talk about giving the money for God. We have to talk about giving money for God. Not talking about the money. Let the sugi give the God. You hear me this sugi?
No.
Again.
I heard what you said. It's not true. Because you didn't see the Rashi and the Mishnah, which we didn't print. You have Gemara yourself. You have a Gemara or just papers. So I'm going to open the Gemara and I'll show you what Rashi says in the Mishnah. Rashi on this Mishnah, on this Gemara. Without Rashi, not Chitas Rashi. Not Chitas Rashi. Not Rashi Ksubis, Rashi and Bechoiros on the Mishnah there.
You only talk about strawberries, not money with flour. You don't need nobody with flour.
But I am tengo.
Stop! Not nobody.
Says then Rashi, I'm reading the Mishnah then. Rabbi Shlomo. It says in the Mishnah like this. Kosav lakoyim, shu chayev litan lo chamisha shloim mishu pidyon b'noi. No. Okay. I have no raya. I thought I had a raya there. I have no raya. I'm sorry, no raya. Okay. Pash, maybe it's a pshat. So how do you read? Kosav lakoyim, shu chayev lo chamisha shloim chayev litan loim. Why? No, wrong. Okay, now I copy. He's right. You're wrong, Flame. I tell you why. No, I tell you why he told you wrong. No, you're not listening. You're not listening. No. I tell you why you're wrong. Listen carefully. Because when I write in my house, I'm about to give, I just wrote, I didn't give it to you, this chayv is in start. I'm not chayv to give you. Yes, it is true. Yeah, that is true. When I write a star and I didn't give it, that's a mischayv, I didn't give it to the yes. But nothing to do with a star. They're written down as I'm not obligated to give because of the writing if I didn't give it to him. I'm answering you. Why you're wrong, you saying the chayiv litun as on the star, if I just wrote and I didn't give it to him, I'm not chayiv to give it to him. This is the point. Wait a second, 2 seconds. Why I write down why not? That's what we want. Where? Where is that? And I'm thinking, why when a person writes on a piece of paper that you have oim 5 shkolim, he needs to give him 5 shkolim? Because I wrote on a piece of paper. I give him the piece of paper, so that he made a key in the chayvus. But if I wrote a star and give it to him, it's just to my house. I can write many. I can paint Donald Trump. I can do a lot of things by doing it. Doesn't mean anything. When I give it to him, so I'm a chayev. When I don't give, there's no chiyuv. Reb Shlomo, think about it. When I wrote, there's no chiyuv. Only when I give. That's it. That's why it's wrong. Yeah, why not? Yes. Yes. But not with the chiyuv, not with the ksav. Without ksav, there was makiri kuna. But then nothing changed me the ksav. If I gave him the ksav, so the ksav is mechayev me. But I give him the ksav is nothing. But makiri kuna don't do with ksav. Talking about here ksav, which is like. Ksav has to be when I give it to him. I don't give it to him, it's nothing. Because I'm answering you. Because when I write down my own piece of paper, it's not mechayev me. When I write down myself in my house, I owe this guy money, doesn't do anything. I wrote to myself. I have notebooks. If the Sheba before did it without my writing, yes. But if she before did it without writing, so what the writing add? And my writing for myself didn't add anything. But if I write and I gave it to him, it's mechayev me. Yes, Reb Shlomo is poshut. It's poshut, it's wrong. Okay, that's it. It's not true, Reb Shlomo. Rabbi Shlomo is not true. I'm answering you. When I write a piece of paper without giving that I owe money, and I didn't give it to the other side, it's not shtar. The whole concept of shtar is you have das mischayev. And when I give a raya against me, does it mechayev me? When I give it over, that will create a shtar. No, even my shibudim. When I write to myself, it's not mechayev me. I wrote to myself a piece of paper, it's nothing. Not true. When I write to myself, is myself. When I write myself and I give it to somebody else against me, it's a raya. That's what makes a shtar. I create a raya. Before there's nothing, just a piece of paper I wrote to myself. Okay. Now we go into the second shot, our sugya. I'm going to continue the Ketzoy, which will get to us. And here we have many options in Rashi, according to what we need to play around with the rayas. How do you read the sugya? Oimnom, however, guys, I'm reading now the next part. Oimnom, however, beperekame kiddushi. Nira de shtachov didei aval kemo kesef. He says the pashtus of the Gemara Ksubis that when he gives the money, he's not podui gzeira that the star in the beginning did it. It doesn't work with Doraisa because not kesef. That's a pashtus. You can say go for momon. What is going on? Okay, all the back and forth. We have a pashtus sugya in kiddushin daf hey that it's shtachov didei is kakesef. Where? Rashi. According to Rashi, uminayin shad b'shtar v'dinu maketzer l'moitzi machnis, shtar sh'moitzi l'moitzi machnis, ma'ale ketzer sh'kom b'lo'mei l'moitzi sheni, t'om shtar sh'moitzi sheni, u'pigash Rashi zal, shtar she'em poidim mo'edesh im kosav lagizbor shtar al mo'es pidu negdesh, en negdesh podi d'ksiv v'nos ha'ketzer komloi, v'hu choch, so what do we see? That he wrote shtar chov didei, and Rashi says shtar chov didei, it doesn't redeem. Why? The chsiv and osar keze kamloi.
You hear about this? Why you didn't do the Rashi later?
Which Rashi later? Yes.
Why the Rashi? Why the Ksotz not be done Rashi?
Which Rashi? Which Rashi? Yes. Shtachov da'acherim.
The Ksotz not be that Rashi. You only think the Rashi in the beginning of the soup. About the total shtar al mois.
Yes.
Why didn't it go to Rashi?
It's a pilpul.
What?
It's a pilpul. It's not clear. It's an explanation why Rashi, the two pshatim, how they learn. There's a few options. Here it's a clear Rashi. Rashi says that the Redeemer wrote to the Gizbar shtar chov, shtar on the mois. Pashas means shtar chov. That's a pashas. He wrote a shtar chov on the money, and it doesn't work because the Torah says kesef and not shtar chov. So what do we see with pashas of Rashi? That shtar is chayvus is not money. That's simple. Not like the Toises in the Rosh, rather like the Rashba in the Ramban. Oh no, it's not money for Egdish. Let's see. Why asked the Rashi said he gave him shtar didei? It's not doing what we're learning shtar. We're talking about by kiddush and shtar, his own shtar. Opposite. It brings a eye from Rashi that it's shtar chov didei. It's not money for Egdish or Meiser Sheni, but for kiddushin and karka it is kesef. Like Toises in the Rosh. The Gemara only talks about the difference between kesef and shtar, only reference to Pinyon Hegdish, but reference to Kinyan. Shtar is also can do a Kinyan of karka and by karka. So mashma de gam shtar didei koinim boilen shepoinim boilen shumaiser shein. That's it. This is the raya of the Ktsois. Comes the Ktsois and he says, I'll bring a raya from our sugi or Rashi. That the Rashi learns which shtar we talking about, not shtar chov da'acherim, which is not the sugya. Rather shtar chov didei, he wrote his own shtar, And the Mishnah says that even though he wrote his own star, the Gemara says even though he wrote his own star, it doesn't work by Ekdesh. But by Kiddushin and Karka, would work. Only here by Ekdesh, it's weak because it cannot, Avdal doesn't koch the Teri, cannot break the Kedusha, cannot do, it's a problem in the Hegdesh. So what do we see? That if it wasn't for Hegdesh, Shtar Chovdidei would work. So we have a clear Gemara, a simple Gemara, which Rashi is a pshat, like Toyses in the Rosh. That Shtar Chovdidei is Kesef. It is Kesef. But by Hegdesh, it's not Kesef. Rashi, without Rashi, Efshar Lefarish like the Rashba. Yes. I can hear. Right. Why not? One second. By Mecher, who says, Mecher also says, it could be a Maisekinyan, or it could be, by Mecher, it could be value, it could be a Maisekinyan. Two options, right? Like Ksman and Taz. Who says Pidyon is not the same? Pidyon is, the way Pidyon normally works, you do a Maisekinyan on the bailus of the Hegdesh on the object. So you do a Maisekinyan to remove the bailus, and then the holiness transfers. Yes. No, by Egdish there's two parts. There's a part that the Egdish needs to transfer to a value, and there's another, and that's a result. It starts with a Maisekinyan. They do a Maisekinyan to remove the Bibles, and that's just like Mecher. No. That's the whole Reb Chaim we break down. There's a Reb Chaim in the papers. I don't know if you guys learn it. The Reb Chaim brings down, it's a Reb Chaim and Sefer and Negriz, and according to Pshan and Rashba. The Rashba that learns that Shtari by Yegdesh is Shtar Kinyan, there's a problem. Okay, you did the Kinyan, you broke the Bailus, but where the Hegdesh is going to transfer? So yes, it can be even Poshol Puto. That's the Gris. But he brings down his father, Reb Chaim, that by Yegdesh there's two parts. There's two things that happens by Yegdesh. One is, I need to break the ownership, and now there's the Kinyan, Kin Kesef, Kin Shtar, Kin Chalipin. I have to make a Kinyan to remove the Bailus of the Hegdesh. Then the Kedush has to transfer. So according to Rashi, is very good. You have Shtar Chov. Shtar Chov is value. The money can transfer. The value of the Hegdesh can transfer. The Kedush of the Hegdesh can transfer. And what broke the Bailus? The Kinyan Shvei Kesef. What? Yes. But the first part is you make a Kinyan through Shvei Kesef, which is Shtar Chov, and it breaks the Bailus of the Hegdesh, and it transfers to the Shtar Chov, which is Shvei Kesef. That's Rashi. And it doesn't work because in Guvay Mamoy. But mitzad, the Maisa Kinyan and the value to Chalois of the Hegdesh transfer is all there, according to Rashi. That's what Kinyan Shtar, or here Kinyan Shtar Chov, which is Kesef. This is the way he learns. The way the Ktsois HaChosh learns in Rashi. And that's also the Pashas, the way the Rashba learned in Rashi. On Rashi. That he wrote a Shtar Chov to the Gizba, and the Shtar Chov is Shvei Kesef. It's in the Sina for Kiddushin, for Karka is in the Sina. And the only problem is that Guvay Mamay. So that's why by Egdesh, mitzad the Maisa Kinyan Shtar of Shvei Kesef, it broke the Bailus of the Hegdesh. But mitzad and therefore also, and mitzad the Chalois to be chal on the Shtar Chovis can be chal. There's a side problem that this type of Shvei Kesef, Shtar Chov, doesn't work to redeem, cannot do a Maisa Kinyan because it's Gufei Momon. And there's a Gzeras HaKoso Ba'Yekdesh and something that's Gufei Momon doesn't work to do a Maisa. Now, the problem with the Ktsois I had, I asked it last week too, that according to the Ktsois, the way he learns Rashi, he missed the point. He says, why Rashi didn't stay Shachov Da'Cherim? Because it's not the subject. Talk about Shtar Kiddushin, he wrote the Shtar. Aram Kodesh Asli. Talk about his private Shtar, right? But the way the Ktsois is learning Shtar Chov means it's Shvei Kesef, like Tois in the Rosh. It's not the Sugi was Sugi Minayin Shah Bishtar. According to you, Shtar Chov, it's Kesef. Okay, in the dinim of Hekdesh, there's no Gufa Momoy. But what kind of kinyan I have here, Shtar Chov, it's Kesef. And it's not the subject is Shtar, not Kesef. So Lichoyra the Rashba is right. No much Shtar kinyan. I want to answer it like this. Yes.
By regular Kesef,
Yes.
you have your Kesef.
Yes.
I don't give you the money.
When the Gemara says Uminayin Shah Bishtar, we talk about Shtar Kesef or Shtar. Shtar. So therefore, how can the Ktsois learn in Rashi that Shtar that we're talking about is not Shtar Chov Da'Cherim because it's not doing the Kiddushi. Shtar Didei. So okay, it's a Shtar Didei, but what is it? It's Shtar Kesef, Shtar Chov, it's Kesef. The only problem by Hekdesh ain't Gufay Mama. What? Good. For Kiddushin and Mechir, it's Kesef or Shtar? What? And Pidyon, why? It's Kesef. He calls it Kesef. Right, but if the Shtar Chov, I value it as Kesef. Yes. Good. So once I'm asking you, when the Mishnah says, the Gemara says, Uminayin Shah B'Shtar, which talk about Shtar? Shtar Kiyan or Shtar Kesef? Shtar, no, not Shtar Schayvus. That the Rashbo. I'm talking about according to Rashi, the way the Ktsois is learning Rashi. That is, it's Kesef, he calls it. It's Shvei Kesef. And Ad Kedekach, he wants to say maybe it's Gufay Momoy. But it's not Gufay Momoy. Gufay Momoy will work by English. It's Kesef, it's Shvei Kesef, is in the Sina, for Kiddushin and Karka, but it's not Shvei Kesef, it's not Gufay Momoy for Hegdesh. But it's Kesef. So I have a problem. The Gemara is learning Shtar, not Shtar Kesef. How can Rashi learn? So therefore, I rather learn, because of this kasha, I rather learn Rashi like the Rashba and like the way the Rashba learned in Rashi. How? Combination. That he wrote a star, and the star does two things. Rabbis, he wrote a star, the star does two things. He wrote a star of Shtar Pidyon, Egdeze Podui, and he wrote his Chayvus of the money also in the star. So I have two things here. I have star of Egdeze Podui, that's what Rashi says. In Kosar is bar star al Moes, he wrote a star Egdeze Podui, like the way the Makin is B'daik and Rashi. Because the star means star kinyan. And Moes means he learns as a chiyuv Baal Peh. I'm saying no, and Moes means not a chiyuv Baal Peh, chiyuv in the star. So really I have two functions in the star. I have star kinyan Egdeze Podui, and that's doing with the kinyan. That's what does the Maisa kinyan, is a star kinyan. The Egdesh cannot transfer without a value. That's the kasha. The Rashi had a kasha against the Rashi. But where's the value? You have to say no. The value can transfer even on shtar shem shavuda. It's a chidush. That's the way the Greece learns in Rashi. In the Rashi, says no. Rashi wasn't happy with that, and Rashi said we have another part where they have the choiv in the shtar. So you have shtar kinyan and shtar ischayvus, and the shtar kinyan made the kinyan to break the hegdesh, and the ischayvus made the hegdesh to be transferred to ischayvus, which is money. Yes. What? Correct. Gizbo wrote it? The Gizbo is the Moicher. What Rashi said, Im Kosav la Gizbo. Rashi said the word, let's see Rashi. Im Kosav la Gizbo shtar al Mois. Im Kosav la Gizbo shtar al Mois. She wrote Egdes Epodu Ishtar Kinyan to the Gizbo. What? It's a good kasha, it's a good shaila. It's a good shaila. It's a bechlala problem. Because normally, who writes Shtar Kinyan? The seller writes it. Sodi b'chur lecho. What? Im Kosav la Gizbo, who wrote to who?
The guy moving coming to all the actors. So it's under the control of actors, the Gizba.
Where were you writing? The end of the choice. One said, Minurule divrei Rashi ef shelo yimar, the Torah shtar shmoy nevedes ma'aseh, ayim a Gizbo kosev lapoide, so the hegder zuknu elecho. Lazet doy me yoyse lekin shtar shbonu lemelav. One said, yeah, Kashi, you have to answer it. Kashi is who writes to who? Who writes to who?
She says, the guy writes, they're pointing writes. Called the Lakisba. He writes the Gizbo. He wants some Lakisba. The pointing writes.
Yeah, but the Gizba. Yeah, the guy folded it.
The Kovetz Ewing, yes, is Kasha. Who writes to who the star? Verashbo Pireish Shimkosa Beshtar. Egze Polu. Vekosha the star tolich to Midas HaMischaya. Ubelavo Chieno Din Star. Umi Yichto Bashtar V'ra Egdesh. Who's going to write the star? Who's the Mischaya? Vafilu name of the Gizbo Kebailim. There's a problem. Even if you can say that the Gizbo wrote it, but Gizbo not the Bailim. So who's the Mischayev? Mikol Mokom ein lo koach latet maton lemishel Ekdesh. Betzorach lo yimar, da'ayri shepoisek domim al apidyoim, אלא שחלוי ספינו על די השטר כמו כל שטוקים במחיר. To start with, exactly. To start with is a problem. You're going to the Rashba. He's not the Bailim here. So you have to twist around. There's a Psike that he writes. Once there's a Psike and write a star. So I have a problem if he writes it. What? Yes, because to start with, there's no Bailim here. There's no Mischayev here. Or you can learn Rashi. While we're asking the question, my man was thinking another option. That the Gizbo wrote a star to the Poide Egdes Podui, and the base that I wrote to him, Shtar Ischayos. No. Look in Rashi. Shtar shepoidim moegdesh im kosel agidbar shtar al moes pidyon egdesh. That's the moes, but the shtar is the shtar egdesh the podui. No. The sugi. What broke the pilus was the shtar that the Gizbo wrote, like the Rashi. And what about the Hegdish? Where the Gizmo go to? So now who the Gizmo wrote Shtar Kinyan to break the Bailus against the Shtar Ischayvus of the Poide, because then the Gizmo was allowed to give away the Hegdish because it was a Shtar Ischayvus against it. The opinion should be Chalan. What? No. According to the Rashba, 1 second. According to the Rashba, I'm answering you. I heard what you asked, and I'm answering you. The same way, according to the Rashba, why shtar that the Gizmo wrote doesn't work? Because there said kesef, not because they're goofing more money. Because there said kesef, not shtar. So that's here. The Chesiva knows a kesef kamloi. Kesef and not shtar when the Gizmo wrote. The only Rashi says, how can the Gizmo write without no ischayvus against? Because of la Gizmo, shtar on it. Shtar al moes pidyon egnish. He wrote him ischayvus. But Rashi doesn't speak about the shtar of the Kenyan that the Gizmo wrote, and that's the reason why the Poide wrote a shtar ischayvus. What? Right? It's derech agav. Im shtar shepoidim egnish, which shtar of the Gizmo. Where's the executor in course of la Gizmo shtar al moish with the yeah, I know it's dochuk. I'm just saying an option, but I agree it's dochuk. Yes, 2 people. The Gizmo wrote shtar egnish of podoi, and the Poide wrote a shtar choiv. That should be chala. That is dochuk and Rashi. That's why I said why I was speaking. I had this option in my mind, but I don't think it's not pshat. Right. So I would say that, like I said in the beginning, like the makne, and I'm adding to it. The makne says who wrote to who. The makne. You have the makne in the papers, right? The makne says, I'm reading the makne. The makne says, "Ela kavonas Rashi shekosav loi." Who wrote to who? The Poide wrote to the Gizbo sheegdesh podui v'yischayv la'amoed v'yikar akinu al dei ashtar hazeh shekosuv lagizbar שההקדש יהיה פודו ממילא ישחייב למועץ. כמו שכהן יסוד בשטר שכהן יסוד על ידי השטר ממילא ישחייב למועץ. See, he doesn't have a problem that the Poide wrote the shtar. Because anyhow, there's no dasa mischayv here. So elamai, if he wrote a shtar kinyan, and it fits the noise, shtar kiddush, shtar didei, and the shtar kinyan is not shtar money. The only problem is where the kedusha went to. So Rashi says, because he wrote also his chayvus, that's where the kedusha went to. What? All 1 shtar, yes. The Makna didn't say what I just said now. The Makna says that he wrote a shtar kinyan and his chayv was about peh. I'm saying no. He wrote a shtar kinyan and his chayv was in the shtar too. Both. Sikas domin in the shtar. Right? That's all. And it works. Yes, how can the Poide write? The Gizmo needs to write? No. Because even if the Gizmo writes, it's not the Baal Abayit. Because both is the Baal Abayit. How can the king not give matonis? So you have to say why it's not free, because the person was in a Poisek Domi and the Psikas Domi can write. So say the same thing. I write a shtar kinyan with Psikas Domi together 1 shtar, so it works. Because anyhow, there's no das mischayv here. Okay. So what do I finish with this? That really depends what Shitas Rashi is. If your Shitas Rashi, the Shtarchov, the day is Momoin, is Kesef, Shvei Kesef, and is Gufay Momoin. And you have to learn the Gemara there, that the Gzeira was, Shtarchov the Acheri, Shtarchov the day is not a problem. And the reason why I didn't work, because it wasn't my mind, but if I was my mind, it would work. So then I would say, Shtarchov the day is like Rashi, it works Mitzat Kesef. If you want to say, or the problem, if you want to say that it's Shtar Kinyan, so really, Shtar Chovdidei could be, is not Kesef. It is a Shtar Kinyan. Just was a Choiv. Sorry. In Rashi here, if we're learning as a Shtar Chovdidei and it's Kesef, so you have to learn the Gemara in Ksubis, or in Bechoiro is that Chovdidei is Kesef. You have to say it's Kufamor, but it's Kesef. And if you're going to say Pshat and Rashi that is a Shtar Kinyan with a Choiv, and the Choiv was there in order to the Egdish to transfer, so you have to say still that Shtar Choiv it's money. So either way, the way you learn Rashi, you have to say Choiv is money, and it works for Kiddushin and Vekaka. It may not be Gufoy Momoin for Hegdesh, but for Karka, or there doesn't work because it was a Shibud before, or in Gufoy Momoin, but for Kiddushin and Karka, Kinyan Sode would work. Shtar Chovdidei ben Shtar Chovdidei, that's the whole star. Ben was a Shtar Kinyan plus a Shtar Chovdidei. But if you learn like the Raj, there's only Shtar Kinyan, so you can say Shtar Chov doesn't work because Shtar Chov it's Kesef, or Shtar Chov is not Kesef. Like the Rashbo and Rabban says, it's not in the Sina. In the Sina, yes. So, which means all the svaras are open, and there's no right and our sugi to either way. Depends the way you learn the sugi. Mainly you learn all the sugis different. That's all I wanted to say. That was my game. Okay, Musa Shmutz. Musa Shmutz. I spoke about during the week, B'siyata Dishmai. Next week we'll learn Nosanu V'omaru. Nosanu V'omaru, Nosanu V'omrohi. Nosnoi V'omaru. You have to see the Amud Beis, the Amud Beis. You have to see Rashi, Toisves. You have to see the Rif, the Ram, the Ran, the Rosh, the Ramban. The Slapotke papers too, yes. But there's a lot of Rishonim on the page, showing before you get there. There's a Birkas Shmuel on it. Be'ezer Hashem. It's a big sugi. Okay. Bezrat Hashem. So I want to talk about Yisroi, Siyata Dishmai. Yisroi, we spoke about during the week. Good, it's on the YouTube. Now you're going to see it live. I'm just joking. The Siyata Dishmai. What made Yisroi to move and to make the change? It says in the Pasuk, Ato yodati, now I know, ki godol Hashem mikol Elohim, God is the biggest God from all the gods. Ki badovar asher zodu aleim. They got punished in the same thing, measure for measure, what they planned on us. He was there with Bilam HaRosha when they gave advice to Paroi to kill the Jewish people with water, throw the babies into the water. And he was there alive to see that they got punished with water. Was the final punishment with water. So why Bilam was so excited about this that she made him a change to believe in Hashem? Yisroi, sorry. So we explained, because people have a problem in the world. How can God, which is the Almighty, relates to me? He doesn't speak to me. How can I see his existence? So logic tells us there's existence of Hashem. There's a superpower that runs the world. Okay. Wisdom, endless wisdom, and soif. How does he relate to me? Or that's number one. Number two, some apikosim say, yes, there's a God, he created the world, but he left it alone. It's just stupid. They have such a svara. So the biggest way to see the relationship between God and man is through Midah Keneged Midah. The Nesiva says the strongest midah that God runs the world from all the midas is the midah of midah and midah, measure for measure. And in that way, God just can speak to you. There's a whole sefer that was written about how the punishments that Hashem gives in a person's body, he can learn from those punishments what was his problem to fix. He says, there's mitzvahs belong to the yadayim, to the hands, to the legs, to the eyes, to the nose, to the stomach, and he divides the whole Torah. What's the Sefer Acharedim? Acharedim, he divides all the 613 mitzvahs to the parts of the body, that when a person gets punished in a certain aver, he can learn which mitzvah he needs to fix. He starts looking at which mitzvah. I remember my father had a problem with his heart. He had a heart failure weakness. And he had a problem with his kidney. And I went to Chaim Kanievsky. I said, what tshuva I need to do? What tshuva the family needs to do? So he says, what was the problem? The heart, he says, you have to work on tefillah. Understood from it, heart is the avodah shebalei, kidneys is machshava, eitzes. So work on davening. That's what he told me. And Baruch Hashem, he worked. My father lived in a couple of years. So, from a person's, the way Hashem gives you the punishment, or the way Hashem runs the world for you, you can see very clear. You don't have to look deeply. That's what the Nesiva says. You have to look deeply. You don't need to look deeply. You can see right away the way it came and this and that. That is exactly measure for measure what he did to other Hashem does to you. It's very clear. It's easy. Water. And I brought a story, right? My son, a whole story. But it's measure for measure. Measure for measure is the biggest midah, the way Hashem runs the world, that a person can have a direct dialogue with Hashem. And this is the chiddush what I want to add today. There's a direct dialogue, which means Hashem, the Creator Almighty, can speak to us through Nevi'im. But we don't have Nevi'im today. We don't have prophets. So in what way Hashem can speak to me? And measure for measure. You see it very clear. You didn't respect your parents, your kids will not respect you. Yes, Rabbi Yeshua. This testimony of the body, what?
Body and nature, if he sees that as the realization that Hashem is running everything, that it lessens the need for Mida to negative Mida when it comes around to punishment, because he has the belief in Hashem to start by his own self, his own body and nature. So if he follows that and he believes hard in the fact that his body is a testimony, in fact, for sure, Hashem controls, runs, and creates the whole world, and also the nature in the world, he sees Hashem and everything in his body, everything he sees.
That's a munah. That's an understanding. But it's not a dialogue, it's not a relationship. It's true, but the strongest would so that didn't move Yisrael. That factor didn't move Yisrael. Right? It didn't move him. What move him is the greatness. Yes. That what made Yisrael be so excited about Hashem, he says, is not only I understand Hashem, it's a logic, that Hashem is in the world, and Am Yisrael saw Hashem in Mamad Har Sinai, wasn't enough. Question what he said it before or after. But the greatness was that he says, God loves man so much that he has a private conversation with the man. Who is a man that God can even remember? We're nothing, we're not even dust. To the Almighty of En Sof, we are nothing. Who we are in existence of the creation of the world, that God even has to care about us or relate to us. Wow! What a God! He created us, as my father said, he didn't create junk, and he cares about us, and he has a direct dialogue. And that what shook Yisrael. What shook Yisrael is not only the world dictates, the logic dictates of the world, the creation of the world, there's a Chochmah Nifla above all that runs this world. No, he has a direct relation with me. And he relates to me through my life. Measure for measure to exact to the T. So he talks to me. And I can talk to him. Can I do measure for measure things and that will change things for me? So there's a direct, and that's above nature. Changes the nature. Or I get punished in mikim, in cases which is above nature, and coincidence, such a coincidence against nature that exactly happened in this way, that way. Because that was the way exactly I did today, that exactly was coming to me. So I have a direct relationship. And it's not only in a negative way, also in a positive way. It says in the Zohar Kodesh that when you see rabbis, when they get older, they become very famous. The more the body is destroyed, and the more the body is not function, they become more famous and more covered and more covered. And certain rabbis, they're strong, they have charisma. So when they're functioning, good people give them the cover. When the body's not functioning anymore, okay, it's finished. So what's the difference? The Yesod V'Sod Shavod, there's a book called Sefer Yesod V'Shavod. He brings down that I saw there many years ago. I saw it, and since then I never saw it. But he says there, he brings that Zohar that there's measure for measure. When it was a tzaddik, when he was young and he had strength in his body, and he was toil and Torah, mind the loyber Isa, he was toil and Torah, and not only that, he was shomer a bris. He guarded the bris. And to guard the bris, it's a private thing. Nobody knows. It's only between you and Hashem. Nobody knows if he spilled seed under the bed, and hiding. You go to a person goes to a whore, and who knows where, in a motel, nobody knows. Young. Only if it's between you and Hashem. It's something between a person and Hashem. So when a person had strength, and he gave his strength to Hashem when he was young, he was toiling Torah, he broke his midas, and he got his bris. Measure for measure, when a person doesn't have strength, says Hashem will take care of you. And I'll bring your name all around the world. The more you're broken, the more Hashem will bring in more of the person's name and more covered. Because it's measure for measure. So it's not only negative, it's also positive. Which means Hashem relates to a person in a positive way, in a negative way, measure for measure. And that what made Yisro get excited about Hashem. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. He saw it in a negative way, they got punished. It was in a positive way. Whatever you do in positive, that's what you get in positive. And you get paid in this world exact to the T, the way you related to others when you're young, the way you related to Hashem when you're young. Measure for measure, exactly. Exactly. Measure for measure. To the point. And that's really an amazing character. That's what the Siva says. This is the biggest character that God warns the world, which means, I would translate in my words today, this is the best, the highest level of Hashem showing his love to his creation by relating to them. Through measure for measure. What? Should we have tshuva? Vadai. So that person does tshuva, Hashem changes his ways for him. Okay? You're right. If let's say a person did Aveira, he did tshuva, so which type of tshuva? If he did the tshuva me'ira, so he just cleaned it. There's no measure to do good. But if he did me'ava from love, so the same power that he did for bad, it turns to his schus. So maybe so now he has a schus. So then he can have measure for measure with the schus. The tshuva, maybe tshuva me'ava. Tshuva he can have measure for measure, even the Aveira itself, because that's tshuva me'ava. But if it's not tshuva me'ava, you're right, there's no measure for measure there. Yes.
That is Ashrei Adam that Hashem like Meyaser or what?
Ashrei Adam te'asrenu kol meteroschot alamdenu.
The Torah is better relation to get to the level of Isuri, to
right.
Realize. We don't have to realize that Isuri.
100%. That's why I removed from the negative into the positive. That was my main goal today, is the love and the relation we have with Hashem. So don't look at the negative and the punishment. You learn Torah. But the Adam, when you learn Torah, you can see the positive. And you can see the relationship it has with you. In Talmidim, I tell you, when I was my Rosh Yeshiva, when he became Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Moshe Hirsch, the previous Rosh Yeshiva was Niftar, Mordechai Schulman, and then they wanted to appoint his son-in-laws to become Rosh Yeshivas. His son ran away. It's a whole story. Before his son was there, and it didn't work out, so he ran away, went to France. So then Moshe was the mashgiach. He was like the main guy who was about 90. He was the mashgiach, and the son-in-laws only Ramim, but they wanted to transfer them to Rosh Yeshivas. So they gave him to give Shul Klali. And what happened was, he gave a Shul Klali, and what happened? Everybody ran away. Because a new guy. So I knew then, I remember then, back to my Rosh Yeshiva, that's the way my students were act to me. Say what I did in the yeshiva. You know what I did? I was one of the older bachim in the yeshiva. I was like considered an important bacher. So I went in and I stood on the door 15 years before, and I told the boys, you can't go out. Can't go out. You have to stay for the Rosh Yeshiva. It's not kavod. And those that said that we have to go, I said, you go 10 minutes before. Now when he comes, you run out, and he sees you going out. Then you're shaming him. And I knew that Hashem would pay me back years later. About 50 years ago. Not 50, 45 years ago. Maybe 45 years ago. And I knew. It was very clear to me, because I heard from my father. I knew it's real. To me, it was real. I understood that the way you act to others, and that's what you see. I go to the Israelis, all my shul klolins are full with the boys. Most yeshivas, when you have a shul kloli, most people leave. You have one or two guys that fall asleep. Who knows what? Because a long shir, especially it's 2 hours. But even if it's more 45 minutes, an hour. But I know because I did it for my Rosh Yeshiva, so my students will not go away. And the same thing, my father. The Rebbe, bless his memory, he was like a son to his father. When the yeshiva split, Chofetz Chaim split with Rav Scheinberg, he stayed with his Rosh Yeshiva. And he said, I'll be with my Rosh Yeshiva. He's my Rosh Yeshiva, I'm staying with him. The Mashgiach left. Mashgiach was much older, big Talmid Chacham, Rav Scheinberg. And Rosh Yeshiva just got married. His father died and was still single. Then he became Rosh Yeshiva with being single. So whatever. He said, I'm staying with my Rosh Yeshiva. And because he stayed with Rosh Yeshiva for 18 years, Mamash Talmid Muvok, Hashem was mezakeh him against all nature. That he had a lot of Talmidim Muvokim. He had Talmidim that learned from him word to word, Mamash, for 20 years, 30 years. You never see this nowhere in the world. Who has Talmidim? For 20, 30 years, every word he says, like a Rebbe, like a Hasidic Rebbe, because that's what he did to his Rebbe. It's measure for measure. And I'm telling you the same thing as you, Rabbi P, another Talmid Chacham here. What you did to the Rebbe, you have you by your Talmidim. Same Rabbi Sackton, you'll see, we'll have Talmidim that will work with him till the last day of his life. Because what he did to others will be to him. It's measure for measure. It's Mida Kamila. Doesn't go away. That's in a positive, I'm talking in a positive way. Those are real things. Those are the real thing in life. So if a person wants to feel the love of Hashem, Ki Godol Hashem Mikol Elokim. God is the greatest. Greatest means how much He loves us. Reference to us. He's great. Reference to us. That we exist in this world. He cares for us. He relates to us. Everything we do, He pays us in this world, besides next world, in measure for measure, in the positive. Those are real things. You see in your life, you'll see it. You don't have to look deep. It exists. So may Hashem guide us to only do good things and get paid more and more good things with Shabbos. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash Yoimen. Rotzach HaKadosh Baruch Hu lezag Yisrael lefika. Yinu b'yom sh'damar l'chavetz ha'ma'at yitkoyel toiro v'yativ. Yadel mitzkadel yishemei ravo. V'om mo libroch yimuzei v'yadel ha'mosei. Ay echon yoyim echon v'chol beis Yisrael. V'adol mizmach horim hu omer. Isadol, 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 Shmei Lekudesho, Brichu, Leilam, Gom, Razor, Kamasona, Miron, Momo, Vome, Al Israel, Al Rabbanon, Al Tamidi, Yoim, Al Kodamidin, Samiroim, Val Kol, Manos, Kimorai, Fos Gadisho, Adem, Kwazar, Asar, Yeah, Lord, what Shomora, Bokino Bekis, the Rachani. I know you're going to be going from Kom, we can show you out of the woman. Yeah, Shomora, Bokin Shmai, or Kaimale, what is the woman? Says, we will know,